This movie is awesome. Right off the back of this review, I can say right now this movie is awesome. I have very few complaints with this movie. It was so well done. I guess my only complaint is that for a younger audience, it's not good. There's a lot of swearing and a lot of blood, so I don't recommend this movie to younger audiences. It definitely is. I don't know how it got rated R. There's so much blood and swearing. Like, if you played a drinking game to how many times they dropped the F-bomb, you'd be drunk in like a millisecond. Now, I want to say that everything about this movie was perfect. From the acting, the casting, the sets, the plot. Now, the plot was simple. A very simple plot, but it made sense. I mean, Dredd isn't exactly a super complex character with multiple story arcs and psychological drama and all this. No, he's not. He's just a very simple character. He wants to kill bad guys. That's pretty much the simplicity of Judge Dredd. And he's a phenomenal character. He's a very nice character. And I hear they're going to make this a trilogy. So I hope they keep this up. Now, all the acting and all of the actors fit the roles perfect. Now, I don't actually know the names of any of the actors. And I do apologize for that. But they all just fit. I mean, what's the point? Now, the guy they got to play Judge Dredd fit the role perfect. By the way, you never see his face, which is accurate to the comics. His Young Justice had no face. Yeah, by the way, there's going to be a few spoilers in this movie. Now, the actual sidekick, or not really sidekick, more like person he's training, I forget her name. I'm sorry, guys. I always forget her name. It would have made more sense to just keep the name Hershey from the original movie, but I don't think that's accurate to the comics. The fact that she's psychic, that was cool. That made sense. If you're in law enforcement, you want psychic powers. So that was cool, and very nice contract. Judge Dredd is very cold, very lonely, very cold-hearted person who doesn't like people. Now, she wants to help people and sees the good in people. So it's a very nice contract from human to Dredd. Very cool. Now, the actual sets were phenomenal. They looked very real. And it was very nice how they even give a backstory in the beginning of the movie to Judge Dredd's universe. Very cool. I also like the designs of the bike. The bikes look cool. Cooler in the original movie, but they look more realistic in this movie. I mean, you totally see a bike like that. And the other ones in the other movie, kind of a little sci-fi-ish. And we really gonna have bikes that can fly? I hope one day. That would be freaking awesome. Now, the bikes were cool and they look cool. Now, the suit designs for Dredd was cool. I like the original one, how you could tell he was a superior officer with the eagle and the giant gold shoulder pads. Now, that's not really good for actual real-life law enforcement, so the utilitarian look of the design was very cool. It would have been cool if there was a symbol to show that he was a higher authority, such as, I don't know, like just a little bit of a bigger patch on the shoulder, to having the actual eagle on the chest more pronounced. Would have been cooler, but that's a minor nitpick. The costume looked phenomenal. And that kind of brings me up to another complaint. It's really a nitpick. Now, big spoiler alert, in the movie, we have 4 judges that betray the law. Which, by the way, people can actually say the word law in this movie. If you've ever seen the Sylvester Stallone version of Judge Dredd, they always said, the law. They always said it like that. They never could say the word law. It was always law or something like that. So, yeah, they could actually pronounce the word law. It was kind of confusing to watch them fight because again, the costumes look the same. There's no difference like a superhero, so it makes sense for a united utilitarian look. It makes sense. Now, that kind of got a little confusing when they were fighting, you know, when you're spinning, doing backflips, punching, being turned, moving. It's kind of confusing, but you know Dredd's going to kick their asses anyway. Which, by the way, this character is badass. This guy makes Batman look like a wimp. And Batman's the biggest badass I know, so you have to be a big badass to make Batman look like a wimp. I don't know how he did, but he did. So, yeah, this character's pretty badass. In the movie and the comics, Sylvester Stallone, kinda. Now, what's cool about this is, the movie is that everything looked real. Now, the gang was the Mama Gang. You can laugh at that name, but it's from a comic book, and that's something you would hear in a comic book. I don't know if it's accurate to a comic book or not. I'm just guessing. Now, the Gatling guns, that was cool. They looked like real Gatling guns. They were like 4 Gatling guns. That was awesome. Also, the gun. The gun was so cool. I love the gun. What can that gun do? It's like grenade, rapid fire, back massage, lounge music. I mean, if you know where I got that from, you're probably laughing too. But that gun does so many cool things. He said like flare, and shoots a flare into a guy's face and it blows up. Well, it kind of melts then blows up. Like, that was cool. So the gun was the same as in the original movie. Also, it's really cool how only a judge can use it. You even see it and the guy's arm gets blown off. That's also pretty cool. It's also really cool, the psychic, when she has the confrontation with the henchman, and how he pees his pants. That was hilarious. It's not a movie that you laugh at, but when you see the guy piss his pants, you're gonna laugh. The whole audience laughed when I was in the theater. And, yeah, so, not really many complaints. The ending was phenomenal. I mean, when, big spoiler alert. When she had the device hooked up to her arm to get her pulse, to have a heartbeat, so if she died, the building would explode. Dredd doesn't care. He doesn't care if he dies. He doesn't care if anyone dies. He wants justice served. So he's like, sentence is death. But here's the thing. Now, there are two things now I've come to two conclusions to this. Either she was bluffing, and even if she was to die, there were no explosives. She was just bluffing. My other theory is that when she took the slow-mo and Judge threw her out of the window from the top story, she fell. The theory, I guess, is that either the device was destroyed on impact due to the shockwave causing the technology to simply fry and stop working, or what happened was that the drug slow-mo slowed down the mind, and it would probably cause her heart rate to slow down as well, therefore perceiving the fall to be much longer, allowing her to survive to the end of the fall. And since there was no signal, because when the building was in lockdown, they actually couldn't communicate using their communication devices to contact backup. So I guess he was betting that due to the signal, she wouldn't be able to have the building explode. She got killed from the bottom because the signal wouldn't be able to escape. Now that kind of doesn't make sense because it only works from the inside to the outside and outside to the inside, because the thick walls would block the signal from getting inside, or from a signal going outside, not if a signal is going in from up to the top floor. I mean, bottom to top floor. Doesn't really make sense, but that's my theory. Also, the drug slow-mo makes perfect sense. Now, drugs are actually used, drugs can be used either for medical, for allowing someone to heal faster. If I had a cut, then I put a drug on it, like, I don't know, like, let's make up a drug that heals you. That would be useful. It heals a cut on my arm. Now, the other drugs that are being used in the movie are controlled substances that cause a temporary pleasure within the mind, which are what drugs that, like drugs you find in the street, are used for. This drug makes sense. In a world where there's so much bad, just so much disgusting, and so much just unpleasant, that slowing down. Now, when you slow something down, it actually does look beautiful. It's very graceful. If you ever see someone slow down the image of throwing water, like they pick up some water and throw it in the air, if you ever watch it slow down, it's very beautiful and very graceful. That makes sense, that they would see this disgusting ugliness as a beauty and a gracefulness due to this drug. So the drug made sense. It was perfectly logical to have a drug that would make that. Otherwise, another drug that would just make random shapes and chaos from what you see, which is what other drugs would do, it would just make things even more disgusting and unpleasant to be around. But a drug that makes things slower, gives it a grace and a beauty, makes perfect sense. I mean, from a symbolical and a psychological standpoint, and just from a reality general, everyone can agree with this. And, yeah, so the drug made perfect sense, the bus made perfect sense, everything made sense about this movie. Very few things there's only two things I complain, and one's a nitpick, and one's just common sense not to take a kid to an R-rated movie. Which, how did this even get an R-rated? I mean, there's so much blood and so much swearing. Plus, it's also kind of funny to see Judge Dredd swear. I've never read a comic where he swore. I don't know if he swore, so I've only read like 2 comics of him. I even have the one where he fights Batman. I still haven't read that. It's on my desk. Tells you how much I've been swamped with homework. That I've been able to read a comic with Judge Dredd and Batman. That tells you how much homework I have. But, like I said, I've only read 2 Judge Dredd comics, so I don't know if he swears a lot, but it's freaking hilarious to hear him swear. He's just like, and then starts running. was with the Gatling guns. So, I hope I talked about this movie enough, and I hope I help you guys decide if you want to see it. And yeah, I gave you the heads up on the spoilers, so don't come complaining to me. But I hope it can help you guys decide if this was a good movie or a bad movie, if you were a little controversial on it. Now, we all have different opinions. We can all agree on that. And I want to hear your opinions. Did you hate the movie? Did you like the movie? Have you seen it? Are you going to buy the DVD? I probably am going to buy the DVD. I'm a big Judge Dredd fan. My dad's a huge Judge Dredd fan. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Not comics. Comments. What am I saying? Just let me know what you guys think. Again, do you like the movie? What did you think were the pros and cons? Did you have any flaws? Well, anything you didn't like in the movie? I'd like to hear you guys' opinion. I thought it was a phenomenal movie, but we all have different opinions. So, with that said, do what you guys do best. Support my channel, and I'm really glad when you guys hit the like or subscribe or favor. It means a lot to me, and it just means a lot to me. So, do what you guys do, and that's support my channel. Get 2 thumbs up. So, adios.